This is Johnny Gomes, and you're watching the Martin Podcast. Before we start today's show, I just want to give a shout here to some of my most recent sponsors and some of my long, loyal sponsors. I want to give a shout to Jack's Batting Gloves, the best in the business, JAX, Jack's Batting Gloves. If you haven't tried them, please go check them out. They're durable, they're super stylish, they're cool. Heart of the Home is another local sponsor that I wanted to give a shout to. If you are doing any remodeling of your kitchen, bathroom, anything like that, Heart of the Home is where you're going to want to go. They're in Hamburg, and let's keep rocking. Today's guest is Dante Bichette Jr., son of Dante Bichette, who played in Major League Baseball, and brother of Bo Bichette with the Toronto Blue Jays. So hope you enjoy the episode, and man, keep listening, keep following. The support's been amazing. Can't thank you enough. What's up, legend?
What's up, bro? How are you, man?
How you doing, man? What's going on in Cali?
Rained for the first time in like a month and a half, so maybe we'll get some green grass. I'm out in LA, like West Coast, like the beach city area.
With me today, I have fellow Libra Dante Bichette Jr. September 26th, man. Happy birthday, right?
Yeah, almost birthday month, I guess.
I'm the 28th.
Oh, okay, cool, man.
So we are definitely fellow Libras, man. Thanks for taking some time with me today. Dante, first round pick by the Yankees, 2011, 2005 Little League World Series, which I can't wait to talk about. And Team Brazil, which I'm sure you take a lot of pride in. And I think you guys will be playing in 26, right? In March, is there?
Opening day, bro. March, I think it's March 4th is opening day against Team USA in Houston.
Really?
Yeah, we got the primetime game. Oh, I'm excited, man. It's good. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Tell me a little bit about, that's where I want to start with you. Team Brazil and World Baseball Classic. It's become crazy popular over the last few years, and I look forward to it. Like, I don't even know when it is. Like, it's just whenever it's on, I watch it. Is it every couple of years, or how does it?
I think it started as every 4 and now it's every 3. And then there's a qualifier, so there's certain rules. Like Team Brazil has been in the Classic, but then came in last place in their bracket, and so they had to get out of the Classic and go back to the qualifier and re-qualify, which is what we just did.
Oh, so you guys did that, and you guys are good, and you're in.
Now we're in again. Yeah, for the second time ever, man. It's been like a long time, 12 years, 16 years, something like that.
You have to do, when you're doing a qualifier, who are you playing? Are you going through like a little mini tournament? How's it work?
So we played against Germany, Colombia, and China. And then the top 2 advanced. So Colombia swept. They were really, really good. And they beat all of us pretty handily. And then we came in second in the pool play and had to play against Germany in the finals. And it was like a two-run game, I think, all pitching duel all the way through. So
who's playing over for Germany, man?
A lot of dudes that I've kind of just seen names, but one in particular dude that was really cool to see for me was Andre Agassi's kid.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw he's playing Jaden.
I think so. So. He's a pitcher.
So I had Mike Bryan on. Bryan Brothers. Yeah. So Mike was on the show. He's a citizen. He's a friend of mine. And he came on. And he was talking about Agassi and him are real close. But long story short, he's talking about Jaden Agassi. He's like, yo, you got to get this kid on the show. He's the real deal. So he played for Germany?
Yeah, he was a pitcher. He was a reliever. He threw hard and had a little sinker behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some chirping about him coming up.
I saw his name, and then I later saw Andre and Steffi Graf sitting in the bleachers. And I'm a tennis fan. I grew up playing tennis. So yeah, and so I was just like, that's pretty cool. Hey, double shout out to Mike Bryan. They signed a giant tennis ball for me when I was like 9. So
dude, I love it. And you know what? You never forgot, did you?
No, never.
Do you ever go to the US Open?
Many times. That was so when I was 12, 13 years old, I was ranked like globally in tennis and singles in the 16-year-old division. I was very good.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had even when college time came around, I had some college offers for tennis as well as baseball. Yeah. So I was like very into tennis. I thought it was cool. I like the individual sport side of things after doing the team sports side,
Dude, and you need to be an athlete, right? Like you can't rely on anyone else other than you, man. We could talk for hours about tennis, but obviously you went the baseball route, but sounds like you were pretty good. You could have made a career out of it.
Absolutely. I think I could have, just like I, think I could with baseball. It's kind of a risk either way, but I guess I felt baseball was the better risk.
You're an athlete, bro. It's in your lineage. You could pretty much you could pick up a football and play that too, bro. You're
I could. But you know what? Baseball or tennis, man, it teaches more than the physical part. It teaches the mind game. It's the mental toughness, which is equally as important, bro, if not more so, especially now when I work with kids more than anything.
well said, man. And I coach baseball as well. I know you're with the South Bay Inferno, correct?
Yes,
Shout out
yes.
to those guys, man. Tell me about
Big
them.
shout out. Dude, I would love to. I would love to. Those are my little bros, man. There's about 50 of them right now. We're, hoping to open the gates and turn it into a whole thing in a little bit. But basically what we're doing is, and we started with like 12 little leaguers that I've known over the past few years. And became really good friends with, and it grew overnight into like a 4 team ordeal where a whole bunch of kids wanted to come on board. And mind you, this is little league, not the travel ball that's so popular. It's simply just a group of kids who get on the field 3 days a week and train very hard. That's my part, and then we play a game on Sunday. It's like little league,
That's amazing.
but intense little league. Yeah.
You're not traveling, you're not caught up in that whole world. Like, listen, my kid plays travel, so I know how insane it is. And it's amazing, man, just how much of an impact you have on these kids. And I can tell you take it seriously, and that you really want to be the right dude for them. And I'm sure, the people around them that are playing baseball with them, I'm sure you echo that same sentiment. So you got all these kids together and you're not playing other squads. You're just playing within each other and just training and learning the game.
We have each team put into like a into the league, man. So they're getting their game reps, but they're really developing and training. And I think, and you could probably echo this as a travel ball dad or youth
Yeah.
or little league dad, travel ball dad. There's not enough emphasis on getting better as a player in preparation for high school when the spotlight's on. That's a big issue. You know what I mean? Because this is the moment we're trying to get college opportunities and pro opportunities. And if we wasted our youth, the time that you can really, really accelerate your growth when it comes to learning a new skill, then it's big time wasted. But that's kind of what we're fixing. And we're starting at the little league level, which I think is the coolest thing in the world. My coaching staff consists of ex pros and ex college guys, and it's a really fun time.
Dude, you have the absolute right attitude, and a lot of guys that I have on the show, man. And if you go through and watch the episodes, we usually always end up talking about youth sports because I have such a passion for them, and I'm so pissed about the way they are right now, right? Like, for lack of a better word, they're a disaster. And whether it's, little Johnny wants to play, but if little Johnny wants the right coaching, he needs to go to this elite academy and pay X amount of dollar. It's just such a joke, man. And between the game changer and this and that,
Yeah, yeah.
and listen, you can see when you have a little bit of talent, with certain kids more than others, but you still want to develop them the exact same way, right? Like, in my opinion, you want to let him be a kid and play the game. Now, 13, 14, 15, right? Kid hits puberty, starts developing, and you're like, man, this kid really has a special gift. Then maybe you want to work with him maybe a little differently, if that makes sense. But prior to that, D, like, what I'm saying is let him be a kid. Let him go with his buddies and play ball, man. Let him just do his thing like a sandlot, like what you're doing.
Well, if you know how when you get to a certain age, I think it's around 16, 17, 18. Once baseball becomes a bit cutthroat, it's like the passion and the love and the desire to do it that's going to keep you at it. And simply keeping at it can win you spots over like a ton of other people. So I agree. You
Not
build you
burning
build the
out, right?
foundation. Of course, yeah, you build the foundation from, a place of enjoyment before you enter that place of difficulty. And I think that keeps a good balance. Baseball's not the only sport, man. There's a lot of kids that get driven, to a bit of an insanity early in their development, and they end up not even playing, and they might be some of the more talented. So
I don't want to get, too personal with your situation. And I don't know your situation, bro, and I'm not going to pretend to. But from a parent's perspective, wanting so bad for their kid to go and be the next or just to see them succeed, I think what I see and notice that sometimes it's the parents that didn't make it or weren't athletic enough to make it, or right. And they're trying to live up and push their kid, bro, so hard that the kid's like, he burns out. He's like, leave me alone. Now, you were a phenomenal talent, dude. I mean, you were a first round draft pick by the New York Yankees. How many people can say that? Obviously, the expectations were wild high for you, right? So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? How did you handle that mentally? And give me kind of, your path of your career. You seem happy and you seem good with everything, which makes me smile. But kind of give me your path from 11 on and like how everything went. You know what I'm saying?
So I think that I can kind of piece it together by saying, you know, man, I'm somebody who follows kind of like how I feel more than anything, and I have strong desires of what I need to be doing and whatnot. I just like to do what I like to do, and I like for it to feel good. Where I'm at now in life, working with these kiddos, man, I'm on a baseball field. I took a little break in between not playing. I'm back on a baseball field. I'm even in games. I have, I'm wearing the jersey with these little kids. All these things that after I stopped playing with the Nationals, I figured I would never do again. I'm very, very happy and feel great about being there with them, which is cool. And I guess to answer your question, what I would say is, man, I think in this life thing, if you play it right, the early chapters of your life will get you ready for the later chapters. So and I don't really believe in any good or bad. I think things are perspective. So I wouldn't change much of anything just because of the fact that, I've learned so much through my childhood to bring me to where I am now, and now I'm able to help a ton of kids. So,
Something led you to where you are now. You know what I'm
there
saying?
you go.
You can look at it like, hey man, you want to manifest something and make it happen, or you can say life is just a series of circumstances or whatever, right? I don't believe too much in coincidences. I think that we kind of have a script that we can change throughout based on our attitude. Dude, you have a great attitude. Oh, you have a carefree attitude, but you're taking everything that you're doing seriously. You know what I mean? To an extent, and you're passionate about it. I think, was it tough for you, drafted first round in 2011 and then going through, the single, the dubs, eventually high A, wherever you were at, but then not leading, not be
Man,
not becoming a superstar. Let's just right.
yeah, yeah. I had personal battles and off-field battles that were taking so much more of my heart and brain power than what the heck was going on in the game.
Yeah, I love it.
And and that's just the truth, man. And as a young kid, because when you're coming up in the minors, bro, you got to figure this real difficult thing out at like 19, 20, 21 years old, or you're done. So as a kid, looking back, I would have helped myself through that. But I became, man, the last few years of my career, I was just absolutely the man every time I stepped on the field. And that came from understanding how to kind of control my emotions and my mind a little bit better. It wasn't even the physical part. The physical part was, like you said, it was easy for me,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hit the ball farther than anybody and throw it fast as anybody. But it was the emotional part and the mental part. And, one person in particular, I'll tell you a quick story just so you kind of
Please
get
do.
what I'm saying. Yeah. So baseball is a long sport, bro. It's like 162 games straight. It's 40 games of spring training before that, and it's every day. You know, and I'm a more of a free soul, man. I like to get lost every now and again. But anyways, I was hitting about 395 like 3 months into the season and indie ball in the Atlantic League before I got re-signed by the Nationals. But going through it, bro, just separated with my family, a whole bunch of other things, personal. There's a lot of personal things that were just weighing on me, and it was hard to be there. And I had a Jamie Keefe, just one of my favorite managers, bro, for the High Point Rockers, pulled me in. He said, "Listen, Dante, you're about to MVP this league. But I feel how you feel right now. I need you to go home for like a week." Middle of the season, man, it was the coolest thing anybody had ever done for me, bro. I came back, I went home, I went to the beach. I like, just took a second, bro, just a breather, and went back and went. I think I went 5 for 6 the very next game, and then like ended up hitting 430 and got re-signed. So that's what I mean is like the way that I can take care of my mental and my emotional parts of me, dude. The physical part becomes a lot easier because of, like you said, all the action you've already put into that.
Well, I can see you have a lot of empathy. And for somebody who is that same way, and obviously your coach was too, empathy, the ability to read other people, to sense what they're thinking, and then
Sure.
want to, you know what I mean, to be part of that. And I can tell, you have that, man. And it's wild though, if you think about what you just said, and you batted, for whatever. Did you end up winning the MVP in that league?
No, I got signed. The Nationals called me when I was on my way to Long Island, and so I went to Reading.
Okay, that was okay prior to. So the Nats
Yeah,
saw what you were doing there and then signed you. So
yes.
so what do you think happened? And again, I don't mean this in any other way than just straight up honesty. What do you think
Or-
happened at the big league level? Right? Because dude, you were knocking it out everywhere you went, dude. You were crushing it. So what do you think happened at the big league level? Was it the restrictions, like, hey, you need to be here, 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 or was it just, like what didn't jive with you, bro?
So the big league level and the minor league level are different. So first off, in the big league level, I saw the first pitch I saw, I had 4 at-bats in spring training, 2 home runs over the batter's eye, went back to back with Robinson Cano, which was sick, and then 2 strikeouts. So big league level, actually,
500 with 2 home runs,
yeah,
man.
yeah, I didn't. I felt pretty good, man. I
Yeah,
felt pretty good. The ball flies and the parks are small, and it just
love it.
the batter's eyes are ginormous. You can see the ball huge, They give you steak before the game, But the minor league level, bro. See, this is the time I'm talking about. This is, man, obviously I'm very thankful for the New York Yankees to take me with their first pick. But we should have talked more before they picked me, man, because I just wasn't, I'm not that guy. I mean, look at me now, bro. I got green hair, purple nails, tattoos, and love to sing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the Yankee guy, as much as I love it. But and maybe that's a little bit on me because in high school, when I was with my family, I was really raised to give that professional
I was
Yankee
gonna
look.
say the Yankees perceived you as being a Yankee guy,
That's what I mean.
like you checked
Yes.
all their boxes, but it
Oh,
wasn't
of course.
it wasn't who you really were.
No, I was trained to check those boxes. You know what I mean? And then once real life hits, man, and things get messy, dudes grow up, and I don't know, man, and you haven't really touched in with who you are yet,
You're a kid, man. You were a kid.
Exactly what I'm saying. So 18, exactly. You get it. Exactly. It's like it's very hard to be told that you need to be a certain way. And with the Yankees is it's extremely militant. When I was playing, it's way different than it was now. It was pants up, black cleats, shaved face, no necklaces, no wrist tape, no underarm sleeve, any of that. It was like be this way, even if you're not, basically.
How much conversation went into the Yankees drafting? Was it like kind of, hey, here comes the draft? Did you get a heads up like, hey, the Yankees are taking you first round? Or
Yeah.
it sounds like it was pretty spontaneous.
Yeah, well, I had a few different teams really interested, like early in the second round. The Yankees said we'll take it with the first one if you sign, and that was how that went. And so I did. But I was also under the impression, that where you make your money is in the big leagues. I had a really skewed sense of reality as to how many things need to go right in order for you to be a superstar in this game.
Want to talk out of place, but it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were a little bit misled. You didn't have the person there saying, "Hey, man, this is," and again, man, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but like you should have. Does that make sense? Like
I agree.
it was
100%
it
makes
was
sense.
almost like it was just sign and because listen, you got paid, dude. If you're 2011 first round draft pick, you got paid. Cecil
Yeah,
was on the other day. Cecil's telling me how in 1985 the rookies made 40 grand.
right,
And
exactly.
they fought to make 60 and they were
Right.
2011 first round pick, dude. You got paid. So you
Yeah.
think in your head, okay, now I got all this money, man, and I'm a young kid, right? And I have all these expectations or whatever. But as you were developing and finding yourself and finding out who you were, those things kind of collided, right? Those two planets collided. Is that fair?
It's extremely fair, man. I am, people say don't change, but I think you need to, or you don't even give yourself the option to grow,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and I think I'm a lot different than when I was like first draft or even just coming through the Yankees, or even when I was playing baseball for my first, before a little break there. I just, man, I think that, look, I work with kids. I see how important it is for somebody to be able to express themselves fully and have freedom to just act a fool or put on a show in the way that he likes.
You're going to change a lot of lives.
Yes, yes.
You're going to change a lot of lives and for the better. You're going to, I love what you're doing out there. I'm not saying that because you're on the other side of the screen, but I'm thinking about how many managers and pros, dude, I've talked to so many guys over the past couple of years, right? From Johnny Damon to all these single A guys. And I can sense the different personalities, obviously, right? But like kids are going to look up to you, D, and they're going to look up to you in a different way, right? And they're going to be like, wow, I can be who I really am. Like I can be an individual. If I want to paint my nails, I want to dye my hair, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to put hopefully a fake tattoo when they're like 13. I want to tattoo. Like whatever they want to do, they can do without judgment, and it unclouds their brain so they don't have to be this exact replica of the kid next to them, right? You know what I'm saying? They have the freedom. They have the
Yes.
freedom, bro, to be themselves. And guess what? When you can take a breath and go, man, I can be myself, right? Whether that be with whatever it is in life, but you can kind of come out of that shell a little bit at that young age, then you can develop into your own person. It's going to take a huge weight off their shoulder, and you're going to change kids' lives. You're going to make kids see, like, whether baseball or not, that you can. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Absolutely, I do. And you know, when the kids are given a space like that through a sport to be free, totally, fully, in my experience, it makes the parenting a lot easier just because I think it gives them an outlet to not listen to anybody, you know, and they still do. They will listen to me because they like me. But when they go home, the reviews that I hear are like, hey, things are going really well here, you know, like communication's up, confidence is up, fights are down, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. So,
My humble opinion, you were built to be doing what you're doing right now. I've known
hey,
you
mine
I've known
too.
you for 20 minutes, and you were built to be doing what you're doing right now. And
Thank you.
you can look at you're welcome, and you can look at the past, man, and I love your attitude because you look at it with zero regrets, right? Like what happened. It's move on, be the best version of yourself, not to sound corny cliches, right? But that's what you're doing, dude. And you're 32. Like, listen, me personally, when I was 40 years old, I had to adapt, change my life, quit drinking completely, make some changes, right? We all
Hmm.
have to personally overcome challenges, and then I have three little boys, and I want to be their role model. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't being that guy. So this is about you, not me, but I can relate, in saying, like, you can't be fake, dude. You can't be a poser your whole life and be happy with yourself. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? You have to, at some point, you have to say, all right, this is who I really am. This is who I want to be, and I'm okay with it. I don't have to answer to anybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that does. And I think take it a step further, I think that's great. I think a lot of people are like, oh, this is who I want to be. But you also have to take like everyday consistent action towards being that person. And like, and it's going to be really uncomfortable. I'm sure you understand this. It's very uncomfortable in the beginning, and then you form different habits. I think this is something that's really important for everybody to talk about.
I'm really glad we're talking about it, And, I try to make these interviews, not they're all the same. Like, hey, man, back in 2011, right, we could do the whole, exactly what everybody else does with interviews. We're talking about something right now that matters, that's real. And I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate how real you are, man, because you're a stand-up dude, man. And let's dive into this World Series thing, man. What was that experience like as a kid going to doing the World Series?
Still, other than the just qualifying with Brazil, it has until then it remained my number one highlighted through baseball. We played against the Pennsylvania home team in front of 65,000
Oh,
people
crazy.
at 12.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so cool. And it was like a whole situation. You know, they have the Cooperstown stuff now, but it was a whole situation where you stayed in the dorms. Like we partnered dorms with Jerks and Profar was on their team. That's when I first met him and we became friends. And
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I first met him,
yeah.
bunch of
You
guys.
still cool with them to this day?
Yeah, no, we don't talk as much, bro, but like cool,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Um,
I think the Cooperstown thing has been made so every travel team now, it's part of the rite of passage to go to
mhm.
Cooperstown. So, Facebook, IG, whatever, Cooperstown this weekend, every parent in the world. Williamsport in the World Series, that was Little League baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
big
right.
difference there. Now it's the travel thing, like you were talking about. That Little League World Series was the absolute best of the best of Little League baseball in that township.
But it was also the best of the best period because the guys, there wasn't travel ball. That's where the players played.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? Do you remember the video game Backyard Baseball?
Yeah.
Dude, I just got that. I just re-downloaded that on the iPad and I've been playing with all the characters and stuff. That's what it's about. The second one is, Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro's in it, Mark McGuire, all the little kids. That's what it's about, bro.
Well, that was, and sin, I'm dating myself a little bit. I'm still what, 16 years old? No, 14 years older than you. But it's one of those things where, you have that feeling still. It gives me, goosebumps to think about that era of baseball and how it was, when baseball cards were a piece of, we sound like old men, don't we? But baseball cards were like baseball cards that we collected and stuff, dude. Now they're $700 a pack and you get one auto, it's like, it's,
Yeah. Well, look, the way that the kids intake baseball right now is TikTok highlights. That's it, pretty much it. Maybe an Instagram page if they're old enough or if their parents let them have one, but that's it. So they know about the Savannah Bananas, but they know way more about Kotrak and KJ than they do about, I don't know, anybody who's not the best player on the big league team.
well,
You
and, and,
know?
and you're right, dude. There's like these 10 guys that
Mhm.
everybody knows in the big leagues, right?
Maybe less.
I didn't say, even your brother's a huge name.
Right.
Like
Right.
those type guys, every little kid knows Bo, right? But like you have the select few that people know, and then you nailed it, dude. But this was cool, man. And if you ever come out to Buffalo, you absolutely have a friend. It was
Bro,
good.
you also over here, man. Very nice to meet you, man.
Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
it. Thanks for getting personal a little bit, man. Thanks for taking the time. You're a really good dude, man. I appreciate it. Have a great day, man.
You also reach out whenever, man.
Take care.